Hey guys, I still got Greg here. I thought I'd ask him some more questions. So Greg, one of the things I get hit with when I come into people's houses, and I obviously can't answer it because I'm just a real estate agent, is the best way to avoid taxes when they sell their property and when they die, passing it on to heirs. And they have all these convoluted, different, complicated things. And obviously it's a no-win situation. You're always going to end up paying taxes in some way, but there's ways that you can legally minimize that, and you can be really smart about your estate planning. Do you have any advice for me or them about the how to at least head on? I mean, there's 7,000 pages of tax code right now. Can you handle that in under 30 seconds?
Yeah, exactly. I can't necessarily go into all of it, and the law does evolve. In 2018, we've got some new tax code that's affecting people differently about what they can write off. The amount of property taxes that you can actually deduct has changed and been limited now, so that's going to affect some people. Everywhere you turn during life and at death, there's a potential tax consequence, and it's really always in the background and not something that necessarily is going to be a front of mind awareness type thing, but should always be considered. So,
but in Florida, we have the benefit that we don't have really an estate tax, right?
That's true. There's effectively no state level inheritance tax in Florida, which is great, and the federal level of estate taxes is really generous as far as what you can give away without owing Uncle Sam anything. It's over $11 million a piece right now.
Okay.
That law is going to change again in about 10 years or a little bit less, but it's still going to have the vast majority of people not too worried about those death taxes.
$22 million doesn't seem like that's going to affect most Americans.
Good problems to have, right?
Right.
But not too many of us are lucky to have to deal with it. But that does mean that a lot of times the estate plans that were set up 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that were focused on the estate tax because those levels were much lower, maybe aren't appropriate nowadays. Maybe it's too constricting now, and you want a more flexible plan because you're not so worried about losing that 40% of every dollar over the exemption to Uncle Sam. So you have those death taxes, you've got transfer taxes during your lifetime. If you sign a deed over to somebody, that might trigger doc stamps. That might trigger a gift tax. Depending on what your estate looks like, you could be really running into a few hidden dangers there, and you may not realize it till a couple years later. There's that audit, and county wants a few bucks out of you. So you don't want to make any moves officially until you know that is not going to adversely affect you tax-wise.
So this sounds like I'm going to need a lawyer and possibly an accountant to help with the whole process.
Yeah, great to have a team behind you. Sometimes it's just a quick question that you can shoot out, and they'll give you that red flag and say, wait, be careful about this. Don't just go ahead and put that other person on your title. Not only is that going to affect your ownership and your rights to use this property, but you may have just had this huge bill that you didn't have to deal with otherwise. So it's not always the hardest thing to deal with, but it's definitely something you want to keep in mind no matter what you're doing.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.